Hello again, Gills fans, and welcome back to Gills in the Blood TV for this week's Monday review, as I have a quick look back at the draw on Saturday at Oldham as we moved on to 52 points in stoppage time, courtesy of Tom Eaves' penalty, and then going to have a look forward to tomorrow night, another rearranged game, another Tuesday game under the lights as we host Rotherham United. So yeah, let's crack on first with Saturday. Decent point in my eyes against a team that's battling for their lives, trying to stay in this division for the 375,000th consecutive season, it seems. But yeah, one quote coming up on your screen now first, Gills fans, from our gaffer Steve Lovell. And as you can see from the quote there, Mr. Lovell was not happy with the performance first half from our boys. Just had to reiterate to a couple of them, he says that the season's not done until full time against Plymouth. 4 games to go still. At half time, I had a go at a couple of the boys. I didn't think they were performing. Second half, we looked better, said Lovell. People aren't going to play well all the time, but I need to have that 100% effort. I just felt that times some of the players were thinking it's over, the season is coming to an end. It's not coming to the end at all. Wasn't at the game, so can't comment too much, but it's great that Lovell is still getting into him. He's not letting it drift, he's not letting people coast, he's not letting individuals just go through the motions. And there are plenty of them still trying to earn contracts. So I wouldn't say, in my own opinion, I wouldn't say that they're on the beach, so to speak. I just think maybe it was a poor first half, but Lovell's had a word and we've reacted well second half. From all the reports that I read and followed on Saturday, it seemed that we created plenty and it just wouldn't go in until very late on when we got this phantom penalty, plenty are saying. The fella seems to have been sent off for tugging Tom Eaves' hair off the ball, but I'm not sure that would legislate for a penalty being given as well. The red card seems correct, but we'll take it. First goal in quite a while. Tom Eaves first in 8 or 9, which is good, gets him to 15 for the season. So yeah, positive point, I think, after what's been a pretty horrendous run. It's still not great. I mean, it's only 3 points from the last 6 games, which isn't the best of form, but after the 3 defeats on the bounce and then the horrendous draw at home to Doncaster, I think we've reacted and responded really well. I thought last Tuesday's draw with Blackburn was really positive. We had a real go and got on the front foot, and we've gone right to the end on Saturday, which is great. So again, that for me is another point that indicates to us perhaps not being on the beach, metaphorically speaking, and we are still digging in and trying to pick up as many points as possible. Luke Cordell's report inside. Always do the final paragraph, which is this week: while the goal ended Gilles' unwanted run without a goal, it will have also done Eaves the power of good, and hopefully both can now enjoy a flourish in the final 4 games. Now, we all know as Gilles fans that Tom Eaves set himself a target of 20 league goals, or 20 goals, sorry, in all competitions at the beginning of the season. He got mocked by quite a few after only getting 4 for Yeovil last season in League 2. Well, he's up to 15. But for me, whether he makes 20 or not, he's been absolutely first class. He's had a bit of a sticky patch the last couple of months, but he's come out the other side of it, and he's picked us another point up at the weekend, which is great. It'd be excellent if he can get 5 in the last 4 and he can get to 20 goals. That'd be magical, to be fair, because it means we'd probably win at least 2 or 3 of them. But if he doesn't, he's been superb all season. I'm currently running votes on Twitter for Gilles in the Blood Player of the Year. It's at the quarter-final stage at the moment, and I think it's pretty competitive. So it's all the usual suspects. But I think once we get to the semi-final stage, which will be this evening, Monday night, it's going to be tricky to vote, because I think you're going to have 4 that are very, very closely well matched. I did this vote halfway through the season, and it was Thomas Holy and Tom Eaves that ran away with it themselves. But I think now it's going to be a lot closer. There's more contenders. But yeah, great to see Eaves back amongst the goals and making positive contributions to the team. And yeah, long may it continue. Let's hope he goes and gets them final 5 goals between now and the end of the season. Obviously, on the back of that, there's a little bit more from Tom himself regarding the penalty. Eaves, he pulled my hair, is the headline. It's a little bit comical, but we'll take it. We'll take the penalty. We'll take the point and run. Gillingham striker Tom Eaves made Oldham's Wilfred Myombe pay for the price for a moment of madness. Myombe was red carded for tugging at Eaves' hair, an incident that also earned the Gills a stoppage time penalty, which the striker put away. It meant that relegation threatened Oldham waved goodbye to a precious 2 points. If he really wanted to brush my hair, I would have let him do it after the game, joked the 15-goal man. I bumped into him and he's pulled my hair. Eaves had gone 8 goals without tucking without a goal before tucking away the late penalty to earn the Gills a 1-1 draw. There were a few mind games going on, said the 26-year-old. I looked over to the sidelines and saw that they were making a substitution using every trick in the book. I found it comical, to be honest. I was delighted to put the penalty away and get back on the score sheet. It has been a frustrating period for me because I want to contribute to the team and play as many games as I can. Hopefully now I can get on the pitch for the rest of the season. I just want to play as many as possible. As I've already said, he's been first class. He's scored different types of goals all season. Obviously he's a big lump. He holds the ball up well, so you think that he's going to score loads of headers. He's got plenty with his head, but he scored some really good goals as well. The one at Plymouth is outrageously good. The volley that unfortunately wasn't enough to earn us a point that day because of a phantom disallowed goal at the beginning, but that's gone now. The Leighton Orient one in the cup was quite funny, where he got away with doing a bit of WWE wrestling on the full-back before tucking one in the bottom corner. Left foot, right foot, he's good. He scored poachers goals, he can drop off. I think he's been absolutely superb. I'm not saying he's my player of the year, but he's been one of a few since Steve Lovell took over that have been absolutely brilliant and played a massive part in getting us up from 23rd up to the relative safety of sort of lower to mid-table, which is great. But Steve Lovell still wants more from the big Liverpudlian. Tom Eaves made it 15 for the season on Saturday, but boss Steve Lovell believes he should have had more. It was Eaves' first goal in his last 9 appearances for Gillingham, the striker firing home an injury time equaliser from the penalty spot against Oldham. He could have had 30 this year, said Lovell, who is keen to get more from his leading scorer. With the chances he would have missed and the areas he should be in, for a boy of his size and attributes, he should be scoring more goals. Next year, I'll be looking at him getting 20 plus. We will work on him in the summer to get him into that mode, and hopefully he can go one better and extend his goal scoring record. Absolutely fine with me. Sure, it's absolutely fine with every Gills fan as well if he does better than this season, because he's been absolutely brilliant. Lovell added, Tommy's a 100% player, he works hard, and when he put the ball on the spot, I was thinking about his earlier one in the season when Eaves had missed against Southend, but he was confident enough and stuck it away. I'm pleased for him because he works hard and he deserved that. Still more to come then, fingers crossed, because he's, like, I can't keep saying it enough, he's been really good. What else have we got? Just a little bit. Match ratings were done, 6s and 7s all the way through. Difference makers were probably Luke O'Neill and Tom Eaves coming off the bench, a few said, which was good to see. We was a bit stronger on Saturday with a few back. Gills deserved to pick up late point, according to Steve Lovell. And there's a little bit about, obviously, Lovell himself signing a 2-year contract extension last week, which is brilliant. And finally, about current Gills players. Callum Riley open to Gills' move. Midfielder Callum Riley says his loan move to Gillingham is one of the best decisions he's made. The move, which came out of the blue for the midfielder, has seen Riley quickly become a popular figure at Priestfield, where he has also featured at left-back. Riley still has another year remaining on his contract with Bury, but hasn't ruled out a return to Priestfield in the future. It's been brilliant for me, said Riley, who has made 12 appearances since joining. And then he just talks about surrounding area. He's enjoying life down. He's been to Canterbury a few times, called it a beautiful place, which is very nice. And yeah, it seems Steve Lovell is keen on getting him in as well. Manager Steve Lovell would be happy for the 24-year-old to return permanently after his current deal expires, saying, Callum is the kind of player we would like to get to this football club. He's a great lad and a good pro. If we can, I'd love to have him here. He knows how I feel. Right, that is enough about current Gills players. And now I'm going to have a look at a couple of former Gills stars who deserve congratulations. And the first one is coming up on your screen right now, Gills fans. That is Adebayo Akinfenwa, better known as the Beast, who enjoyed some fruitful spells with us previously. Last night, Bayo was named as one of the 11 selected for the EFL League 2 Team of the Season, and he was also named in the combined EFL Team of the Season, which only featured 2 League 2 players. So, massive congratulations to Adebayo. 39 games, 17 goals and 14 assists this season. Speaks volumes. Record speaks for itself. He's 35 now. He's still doing the business, still scoring, still contributing every week. Remember reading his autobiography after Christmas, and there was a little bit in there about when he was at Gills and Peter Taylor didn't rate him and didn't think he could play 90 minutes. Well, he does it consistently now for Wickham, and they're getting the fruits of his labour, so to speak. So, massive thumbs up to Adebayo. Brilliant to see. And obviously one more, I'm sure you're all aware, is this man coming up on your screen now. We saw him last week. EFL Sky Bet League One Player of the Year for the second time in 3 seasons. I am obviously talking about Bradley Dack. He won it with us after a brilliant 2015-16 campaign. Dropped off slightly last year when we struggled. He struggled as well with fitness, etc. Earned his move to Blackburn in the summer. After a slightly slow start, he's been absolutely first class. He's going to go and play a lot higher, I think. I think if Blackburn somehow managed to not go up this season, I think he'd move on in the summer. That's my own humble opinion. But for what it's worth, Blackburn fans, don't panic. I think he will get promoted. 38 games, 16 goals and 8 assists from midfield. Again, phenomenal record for someone who's still only 24. We have to remember that he's only been playing first team football for 5-6 years. Championship quality for me already. By far the best player in the division. I don't care what anyone else says. People might come and say Jack Marriott, Nick Powell. I'm slightly biased, I know that. No, I'm a lot biased. I'm massively biased. Bradley Dack is the best player in League One and he's been voted for a reason. So well done to both Bradley and Adebayo. Superb reward for a hard-working season and the qualities you possess. Right, let's now have a look ahead to tomorrow night as we host promotion chasing, playoff hunting Rotherham United. As I'm sure all you Gills fans are aware, we're not in the greatest run of form at the moment. We've currently taken 3 points from the last 18 available, which is relegation form. Bottom line, can't dress it up. Since Portsmouth, we've been right off the boil, unfortunately. We lost 3 on the bounce after that, and then we've had 3 draws since. I've already mentioned the horrendous non-event of the Doncaster game just over a week ago at the Priestfield, boring as hell. We then followed that up with a much better performance, same outcome against Blackburn Rovers last Tuesday, and Saturday's battling point at Oldham made it 3 draws on the spin. And defensively, in fairness to us, since the capitulation at Roots Hall on Easter Monday, we've been a lot better, and we've only conceded 1 in 3, but we have only scored 1 in that time as well, which ain't the best. At home, we have only won 1 of the last 6, but on the flip side, we've only lost 1 in that period as well, which was to MK Dons, taking 7 points from the last 18 available at the Priestfield. And looking at Rotherham, our opponents overall lost 1, drawn, lost 1, drawn is their last 6. So if you're looking for a pattern, LWD, LWD, question mark. I don't know which way to do it for you to see it. If you like omens and statistics, then we'll see what happens. Away from home, they've won 2, lost 3 and drawn 1 of the last 6 games. They've taken 7 points from 18 on the road. But what we do need to remember, Gills fans, if we're looking for positives, is last time we were due to play these, they were on the they were in the midst of a 7-game winning streak, and they'd kept 4 clean sheets in that 7-game run. Snow put play to that fixture. We now play them and they come to us having only won 2 of their last 8, slightly different, and they've only kept 2 shutouts in that period. So they've run into a bit of a sticky patch, so to speak. And us, despite not winning enough home games, we've only lost 1 in 7 at the Priestfield in 2018 with 2 wins and 4 draws. So could be quite an even game. Did see something on Twitter the other day which was interesting about home and away form. Obviously people go on about how brilliant our away form is and how rubbish we've been at home, but statistically and points wise there's only 6 points in it. So not a massive difference. So if you trade 1 home defeat for an away win, swap them over, we'd have 26 points at the Priestfield and 26 points at on our travels. So not massively different, and certainly not as big a gap as I think plenty try to insinuate. Yes, our away form's been brilliant, but I don't think that the home form's been as bad as plenty like to make out. We've only lost 2 in the league under Steve Lovell since he took over. So, and weirdly enough, we've lost the same amount of league games as Rotherham, 14, but they've won 9 more. That's the difference. That's why they're in the top 6 and we are in the bottom half of the table at the moment. In terms of players for them, Michael Smith came in January, I believe, to replace Kiefer Moore, who was on loan from Ipswich. He went back and then signed for Barnsley in the Championship on a permanent deal. Kiefer Moore, he had 13 in 25 before departing. Michael Smith's done all right, big step up, 5 in 16 since arriving, so it's 1 in 3. Not poor by any means, but not quite in the same calibre as Moore. They've got David Ball, who they signed from Fleetwood in the summer, who's got 9 in 35, so he's had a decent enough first campaign. And Joe Newell was another name I picked out, who's got 7 goals from 40 appearances in midfield. So they look a squad to me, and this is no disrespect to Rotherham or the job that any of their players and staff are doing, but there's not names for me that just jump off the page. Like you go to Blackburn and you go Bradley Dack, or you go Danny Graham, Charlie Mulgrew, or you look at Wigan and you go Will Grigg, Nick Powell. But again, similar to like Shrewsbury, but maybe with slightly more money and a slightly bigger following. They've just got a very solid squad with a little bit of quality entwined in it, so that's why they're doing so well. But so I don't mean that disrespectfully if you are any Rotherham fans watching. Team news for the Gills. No Aaron Morris. Sadly, I think we may have seen the last of Aaron Morris, certainly in a Gill shirt. It's been 2 years of absolutely nothing now, I'm sad to say, and 2 big injuries, and let's hope he can get back and playing football at some level, but I don't think he'll be with us anymore, sadly. Billy Bingham, due to play last week, unfortunately picked up a thigh strain, so he's now been ruled out for the rest of the season by Steve Lovell. Makes sense to me. Frank Musso picked up a knock last week against Doncaster, seems to be out still, and Lee Martin served the last, I think, of his 4-game suspension. My team would be... I'm going to change it around a little bit. I want us to go back to a flat back 4 at home. So I'm going to go for Thomas Holy in goal, Bradley Garmston, Gabriel Zakwani, Max Amer and Luke O'Neill as my back 4. I would then play Mark Byrne, Callum Riley and Jake Hessenthaler as a midfield 3. And then attacking 3, so slightly different. I would go Josh Parker from the left, Scott Wagstaff from the right and Tom Eaves through the middle. I think the goal will do him a world of good, and let's see if we can unleash him for the last 4 games of the season. We can go to a diamond, I would say, if we do play that formation. You could tuck Waggy in at the point and then play Josh and Tom up front. My substitutes would be Thomas Hadler, Connor Ogilvie, Ben Nugent, Naveed Nasseri, Elliot List, Reece Murphy and Connor Wilkinson. Yes, we want to still see a lot of these fringe players, but I still think we maybe need another... No, I don't, but Steve Lovell does. Sorry, that come across wrong. I think we're safe. Steve Lovell still keeps talking about maybe needing another point, so for that reason I think that's what team we might go with, or I think... You know what I mean. I'm rambling. Prediction. See, it'd have been very hard if we'd had to play them when they was originally due to come, because they were in such good form, but we were in better form. So it's still going to be hard because we're in poorer form, but so are they. So I'm going to probably go with a little bit of heart more than head, and I am going to say... We're going to nick it. I'm going to say Gillingham 2, Rotherham 1. I haven't even written this down yet, so I'm putting it in now. And then I'm going to say Gill's goal scorers, Tom Eaves and Scott Wagstaff. Right, that is enough from me today. Please keep voting on the polls for the Gills in the Blood Player of the Year. Please keep subscribing and spreading the word. I looked this morning, we was on 749 and we need one more for 750, obviously. So thanks for all the ongoing support. Thanks for all those that have voted for us for the FBA's awards, and we will see you all tomorrow at the ground. I believe Dave is coming along and Stocky, so it should be a good match day live. And until next time, up the Gills.